were expecting the radio, so... No. No, he's not here. I am uncertain. Don't worry about that. Have a jolly old time.
Hey man, get the fuck out of here. Go. Go.
Huh?
Shoot. Flee. Go man.
Okay,
Get the
man,
fuck out of
fine,
my way.
fine,
Get the
fine.
fuck.
Jesus,
Go.
fine.
Go.
Fine.
Go. Flee.
Fine.
Bye.
Sorry, that fucking bozo can't just... He owes me rent, but he's just here rent-free, and that pisses me off. That guy needs a fucking job. Anyways, today's video is a special request by Sobble Wobble 13. Great username, by the way. That asked that I review or react to. Well, I guess a reaction is a review. If you think about hard enough, it is. Who asked that I review... Fuck, I said it again. Yeah, whatever. Review, react, it's all the same to me. Who... Oh, fuck. Cut. Oh, shit. Who asked that I review... Who asked that I react to another Blameitonjorge video? You're welcome. I'm doing this for you. You and you alone. Let's get into it. Now, for this, I won't be alone. I'm going to be having a little friend with me. His name is Dippy because he's a Diplodocus. A sauropod from the Jurassic, if you didn't know. He's not fluffy. He's silky. My little silky dino. Anyways, let's get into this. Oh, my ears. Copyright disclaimer. Irony, considering it.
Between 1969 and 1971, the FCC created public access television, a form of media where the general public can create their own television programming, which can be played on local TV. Before YouTube, if you wanted to make strange videos, this is where you go. And strange videos there were. Sometimes I like to call public access the deep web of television because of all the strange shit that's there. So I decided to gather some of them to show you guys. This is 10 bizarre and creepy public access shows.
What the fuck did I bear witness to my screen? Oh, that's no bueno. Right,
Sister
Dippy?
Who presents.
Okay.
Meet Sister Who, a spiritual nun who hosts her own show about helping people grow spiritually and personally, and develop a positive attitude toward discovery, diversity, and constructive change. That is, according to our website. In it, it describes his show as an ongoing series that discusses about issues that relate to spirituality in some way.
No, I don't care. You
Sister
don't
Who
look like that.
means
You look
really
like a
well,
cult.
surely, but he's
A
just
cult
so
leader.
damn creepy.
Exactly, you just look like a cult
As all
leader.
public access shows, production value isn't that great, and the intro is really strange.
This looks like a creepy YouTube video.
Drags out for quite a
Like,
while, and there are signs
feel
that show
fantastic
random
or
words for no reason,
Robbing for morons.
or maybe a reason that I'm just not seeing. Really, it's all just religious talk, which is fine. But Sister Who himself steals the show, and all 386 episodes, apparently, the newest one being 5 months ago. This is something that I wouldn't want to see when I'm up late at night trying to find something new to watch.
I don't know what to say.
The Great Satan at Large.
What type
If
of
you're
name is
deeply
that?
religious, or if you feel like mentioning God in a negative manner is a bad omen, then I suggest you skip this and go to the next list item. The Great Satan at Large was a public access show that premiered in Tucson, Arizona on channel 49 in the year 1993.
Okay.
It aired at 6 p.m. on Sunday night on a mostly Christian channel, And for 40 minutes or so, they showed scenes of explicit violence, sexuality, at least in the back of, well, Satan's green screen, and Satan calling God many vulgarities. And on top of that, at the end of the show, there was a masturbating Hail Satan jester.
Excuse me?
I am not kidding you. As you can see, this did not hold well with many of the Christians of Tucson, and after the hour it premiered, the channel owner was charged with indecent obscenity, which was a charge that could have held him in jail for over 40 years. He ran for the feds up until 2006, where he contracted a deadly flesh-eating bacteria, which led to his death. Now, when you watch the original haunting footage, it adds this weird, uneasy, eerie feeling. The only thing I can say is that watching the show is like sitting next to a emotionally unstable person at a bar.
Like me.
It feels like someone's gonna fly off the handle and hurt someone at any minute.
Like me.
And judging by the content that you see, that's not a far stretch.
Oh, this sounds more like a YouTube. I'm sorry.
The Church of Shooting Yourself.
I don't. What?
The name alone grants it a spot on this list. The
What?
Church of Shooting Yourself.
I don't get it.
A
What
plus for the
fuck type
opening.
of-
The entire show is just some guy going about on the streets of Manhattan and rambling about whatever he feels like. But when the show gets darker and quieter, that's when it really sets off an uneasy vibe.
Dippy.
When he's staring
What
into
am
the
I
camera,
seeing?
talking to you. I mean, doesn't this look like something that you shouldn't be seeing?
This looks like.
Something being withheld from, I don't know, the government or something?
Yep. Uh huh.
The show actually captures some pretty graphic imagery, and unlike others on this list, there's not that many episodes, so there's not much to say.
This looks like a live leak video.
It's just so unusual that, out of all people, this guy wanted to share his thoughts and put it on public TV.
That sounds like a title from a live leak video. Or just.
Animal Trash.
That sounds like a band name.
Animal Trash is one of those shows that feels like it was from the early 2000s adult television era. And the newest link I found on the show was a Twitter account with only 3 posts on it. The final post of the trio had a link to a short video or some sort of update to the show. Animal
I feel like this reminds me of Candle Cove.
Trash itself is rather odd. Have you ever felt weirded out by an early skit from Jim Henson's Puppets? Or have you ever been unnerved by the heavily atmospheric and darker tone of The Dark Crystal?
Not really.
Well, this is a group of puppets who in their first episode end up killing one of their friends.
What the fuck?
talking about what happened to Waldo.
No. What in the shit naming fuck?
Oh, yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Why wasn't I thinking of that?
And using practical effects along with cheap yet creepy puppet designs, they go through adult-themed adventures which can get rather gory and unusually sexual for a show that looks like this.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Cheeseburger.
Lost episode creepypasta vibes.
Cheeseburger.
If this video gets up to 100 likes, I will react to the entire series.
Cheeseburger.
I get it, man.
Yeah. Eat that cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
Oh, cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
What are you guys talking about?
Dippy, you better not talk in my sleep.
Little is known
Like
about the
this.
program, and no matter how hard we dug, it just leaves itself as a strange yet entertaining public access show.
The darker version of the Muppets.
Joy Junction.
Oh boy.
I've said this before, but there's something about puppets that are just eternally creepy, especially if it's from something as low budget as public access. Anyways, Ron and Marty was a Christian show featuring a ventriloquist and his puppet talking about teachings by the Bible and the word of the Lord. Ron
Why is it always the late night Bible programs that have the most creepiest shits known to man, and that the people who produce them end up being the most batshit insane criminals on the planet?
himself would often drive children to the church and perform his puppet shows live for his congregation. What makes the show creepy is the puppet Marty. He looks terrifying and really disturbing.
Well, they
You know who he looks like? Slappy from Goosebumps.
said, Marty, come over here and take a look at our pictures. So I walked on over there and I took a look.
And he
You know
sounds
what
like
it was?
Christian.
What was it, Marty? Well, it was in Arizona, I'll tell you that right now.
What makes the show especially creepy is the ventriloquist Ron. I mean, he looks like a normal dude, right?
Yeah, right? Is he?
While he worked hard with his church during the day, at night, his true side came out.
Ooh.
You see, Ron would openly talk online about how he wanted to kidnap, rape, and cook the body parts of children.
Okay, yes, he does look like that type of person. You could tell because of the look, but what in the cinnamon toast fuck? What? Like, get this man off my screen now. He's too deplorable. Dippy,
He
save
would
yourself.
gruesomely go into detail about how he would commit his actions,
Oh lord.
targeting children as young as 2 years old. Ron was charged in 2013 for possessing child pornography and even conspiring to kidnap a child.
Oh no, that's
It really
heinous.
makes you take a second look at Joy Junction differently.
It's heinous. Yes. Hopefully he gets what he deserves.
Goth Public Access. Goth Public Access truly is the definition of an internet ghost story. Little to no information is known about the show. In fact, very few clips of it even exist. The Know Your Meme page is blank and only contains the video you're seeing now. As for the show itself, according to Crack.com, there is some kid named Saul who's bullied by 5 kids.
Saul
He
Goodman?
begged his parents to switch schools, but they couldn't. Instead, they made a show on public access. In this clip, he begins to do some sort of card trick
Uh-huh.
before the show cuts to him reading off a morbid poem. When he pauses,
Edgar Allan Poe?
an older woman comments, "Is that it?" To which he responds, rather awkwardly, mind you, "No, there is a pause." It really adds to the cheap, on-the-go feeling the show has. And while watching it, don't be surprised if you get a few chills.
I am pretty much desensitized, so I get nothing besides a creative piece of art.
Miss Mouth.
Oh no.
In the 1980s and 90s, Miss
No,
Mouth was a
no,
show on
no,
public access
fuck,
television
fuck, the
and was one of the
Bible,
most popular
God,
shows on
God,
there.
repent,
The host of the
repent.
show was a man's chin
No,
upside down
no,
with drawn-on
repent.
facial features,
God,
eyes on
if
the
you're
bottom
real,
of his chin,
I'm sorry.
and a wig around his neck.
I'm sorry, God. Please
Miss Mouth
accept
would
me.
often call people, give her opinion on things like toys and giving birth, and end her episodes
God,
with being
take me now. I don't wanna
fed
be on
strange
this earth
substances
with
by
this
her
vile
assistants.
creature.
The last video on her channel was 8 years ago.
I don't want to see this shit on my screen. Thank you. What the fuck was that? What the fuck? What?
Wild Record Collection.
Okay, this sounds tame.
This show seems to have no real target audience, and to understand this, you have to boil it down to its basic essence. Wild Record Collection is about featuring album covers from various music genres.
The Beatles.
Vinyl records, by this time, have been dead for a long time. So, the fact that they
was it the
decided to
90s?
incorporate puppets makes it feel like a children's broadcast, despite the only people this might appeal to are collectors themselves. On top
Alright.
of that, one of the authors of the show was known as Anonymous Boy
Oh god.
and made queercore films such as Green Pubes. The history behind Anonymous Boy is much more entertaining than this, but what makes the show weird and generally uncomfortable to watch is how the audio just randomly cuts out, and how it's clearly just one dude talking to himself, and the shoddy nature that it was produced under.
I see.
Stairway to Stardom. In New York, there was a show called Stairway to Stardom, which was the American's Idol of public access. It was described as, quote unquote, an amateur talent show many see as a low-rent precursor to American Idol. It was extremely low budget, and there was no prize other than being on television. The host, Frank Nasi, would feature amateur singers, dancers, magicians, rappers, comedians, and such to show off their talents. Their talents have not been seen in decades and remain somewhat obscure until recently, when 16 full-length half-hour episodes have resurfaced onto YouTube by a superfan named Mitch Friedman. The show surprisingly lasted for 13 years and gained a cult following for attracting so many oddballs. And eventually, the cost of Stairway to Stardom was too much for Massey, and the show finally closed in 1992. Keep in mind that this was before the internet, before YouTube, before Patreon. So, good work on you, Frank.
And the final one is...
Unwind with the Sweeties.
I don't like that name.
I don't want to seem prude here. The point is not to look at something and say, this is absurd and should be banned. However, this show is honest to God the most uncomfortable thing I had to sit through. The show seems to be about an older man with buck teeth in a green mask and a woman in a lemon-colored mask. Each of them are wearing eyeglasses. I've only seen one episode, and it was enough to make me physically squirm in my seat. The episode begins with the buck-toothed man looking at a sexually suggestive magazine. Then it fades to a woman in a yellow mask, much like the wife. She is moaning and talking about a strange story.
You know, I went to the stores today, but I didn't have any money. But nobody seemed to mind.
As she goes on, she spanks herself, constantly shifting her position into other sexually suggestive poses, and moans. It's almost as though she has a severe case of ADHD along with nymphomania. Eventually, it cuts back to him getting scolded by another female in a yellow gimp mask, accusing him of being in a private moment.
Sweetie,
Yeah, sweetie, what? I was just,
you were having some type of a private moment. What was going on?
Sweetie, no, I'm sorry. I was just looking at this 3D, Jane Mansfield. I didn't realize. Oh,
Is that all you
lost
were
track
doing?
of the time, sweetie. I didn't.
The show leaves me greatly disturbed, and the only thing I could find on it was a few WordPress articles and a limited number of videos, which only leads me to believe they have not moved on to any better works.
That was unique. There's no goddamn way there's a part 2. There's a part 2? There's a part 2. We're doing part 2.
In the past, we've talked about several public access shows from everyone's favorite corner of television, the one where anyone with a camera can shoot anything they want and show it to the world,
You bet you're so
or at
busy.
least show it to those who dare wonder what's on public access television.
You bet you're so
Nowadays,
busy.
with decent quality cameras in our smartphones, it's easy for just about anyone to make content, and we have great websites like YouTube to showcase this.
You bet you're so
But what
busy.
about back then? What about before YouTube, Dailymotion, VidMe, all that? Well, that's what public access was for. And today we're counting down more of the most insane shit ever put there.
Oh boy.
Jerk Beast.
What the fuck?
How this show got onto television screens just baffles the mind. A large Muppet-like creature, which in reality is just a strange man in a large devil's costume,
Oh, that's so
called
great.
the Jerk Beast, and his human friend act belligerent and shitpost on television and then tell people to call them. During said calls, the Jerk Beast and his friend just kinda cuss and act rude, and just mean to those who call them.
Speak, you asshole!
Asshole, speak, you asshole.
Say something interesting before I come through this camera and rip you a new one.
Say something interesting. Why don't you go to the dentist, man?
Why don't you shut the fuck up?
Why don't you go to the dentist?
Why don't you shut the fuck up?
Take care of, man.
Hang up on this idiot.
I'm falling apart here.
God damn it, if there's one thing I hate, it's idiots like that calling my show.
After watching a few episodes, it is clear that those who call them do so with the understanding that these people are just going to vigorously scream at them. Even during the beginning of the show, they asked the audience to make fun and harass the jerk beast, presumably with the intention of trying to get the best humor and gain the biggest reactions. We do have to ask, what is the humor in watching people cussing, cursing, and accusing each other of being fags?
Family Guy.
During the show, they do some fairly controversial things, especially for the early 2000s, such as cuss a 10-year-old out on live television,
Oh my god.
attack another anti-gay Christian public access show by calling them gay for Jesus, and then proceeding to call themselves fags for Jesus. And finally, getting into vivid detail about fucking studio lights through the anus of the titular jerk beast himself.
Okay. Alright. That's
What's your problem?
Many things.
What's Your Problem is definitely the most mysterious, if not most well-known of the shows on this list.
Okay.
Perhaps its vagueness is what led it to gain so many views, over 200,000 to be exact. Interestingly, the video has been around since 2006, a year after YouTube was created.
Nice.
The show, however, is scarce with information, thus making it truly strange and bizarre.
That's
What's Your
bitch.
Problem is believed to have been from either Pittsfield or Terrytown, according to two YouTube descriptions. It aired sometime around the 80s or 90s, meaning that some guy had the footage stored away somehow for over 20 years. Thanks. What's Your Problem features a man in front of a green screen, trying to eat a fish that keeps being pulled away from his plate, though this doesn't stop him. A reoccurring voice is saying, "What is wrong with you?" and "What's your problem?" and it plays loudly in the background. And the man constantly responds to the mysterious voice and defends himself over and over and over again for 3 minutes.
I don't have a problem. What's wrong with you? I don't have a problem. Would you shut up? What is wrong with you? Would you just shut up? What's wrong with you? What's your problem? What is wrong with you?
Trying to eat a fish. I'm trying to eat a fish and it falls off the plate. Would you shut up?
What is wrong with you?
There's no spirited message or any music or guest featured. It's instead just this man being harassed by some disembodied voice. The man appears to be mentally ill, maybe, almost as if the voice being played is going through his head or something. It's just a weird fucking show.
Just shut up.
What's your problem?
I'm gonna make something like
What is
this.
wrong with
This
you?
is
I'm gonna
cheap.
hit you with my fish if you don't shut up.
Chip the Black Boy. Chip the Black Boy is just uncomfortable. It's like an Adult Swim bumper or a late night infomercial that just got way out of control. We are sure you know what we mean. The low budget video followed by the somewhat decent audio quality, only to display a somewhat disturbing message that makes you want to laugh just due to how uncomfortable it is. We are not sure if this thing is supposed to be shock humor. All we can say is that Chip the Black Boy is one of the weirdest public access oddities that we have had the fortune to see. And here's why. Chip the Black Boy is some sort of musical show, starring a rapping dummy called Chip the Black Boy. Oddly enough, the music is not about religion or anything like that. It's almost like one of those weird ARG sites that has a sort of spiritual dark tone to it.
Yeah.
Some of the lyrics from the song Black Candles are occult-like in nature, and here are a few examples.
I don't question the source of these voices. Their commands leave me with no choices. Who can deny a decree from the sky? But a fool, I'm a dummy, but no fool am I. And though I may...
You may think that this is just a one-off special, but no. It seems whoever made this actually has a point, as there's a second song simply titled, Am I Weird? Here are a few disturbing excerpts from that.
Am I weird? Am I everything you space between your ears? Am I leading you to hell? Why you wishing well? Am I vaulting you to heaven with a hypnagogic spell? Can you smell it?
Something about these odd lyrics leads me to believe that there's something even more disturbing beyond the top dusty layer of unnerving shock horror that the show displays. Perhaps the intention was to watch the show and have us pick it apart and figure out what exactly is going on. Maybe there's a underlying story, a work of fiction, or with it being public access, perhaps the true answer is much more horrifying than anything we can speculate here.
It's peak cinema, that's what it is.
The Asylum for Shut-ins, Video Psychotherapy.
Okay, we're done.
Originating from Cleveland, the Asylum for Shut-ins is an extremely odd show, seemingly hosted by this puppet named the Doctor, sometimes in front of this large portrait of himself. In this episode, he commands the audience to bow down to him and to praise him, or he'll crush you with the heel of his boot. The following scenes contain more of our host giving orders and demanding leadership, intercut with random scenes of people falling and puking.
Now give me a second. Give me a second. I just need to. I just need to. This is my sister's, but I don't care. Let's just get back to this cancer.
And shit exploding on constant repeat. I mean, some of the editing is actually pretty impressive for a public access show, but most of it is just these clips and the Doctor speaking,
Come here, my baby.
albeit very disturbing. Not even disturbing in a subtle, quiet way. The show just hits you over the head with its imagery, and when the show does go quiet, that's when the host begins to speak about a world gone mad, how he murdered all of his elementary school teachers, and psychotherapy stuff like that.
When I tell you to clean the boot, you clean the boot. And when I tell you to march, you march until you drop and then you march some more. You must never tire. You must never grow weary.
Yes, my Fury.
But march. March in endless toil, in endless suffering. March
Yes,
for
my
me.
Fury. Yes, my Fury.
The website is even spookier, with video diaries from the Doctor, fan mail, and
Why
hey,
the
a gift
fuck
shop.
is there a website?
Finally, to conclude this entry, here's an excerpt from the Facebook page.
Okay.
The Doctor is a sadistic, power-mad ventriloquist dummy who administers doses of mind-bending video ultraviolence and savage social commentary. He delivers his demented therapy with machine gun-like collages of horror movie clips, audio and video samples fused together in a musical tapestry of terror, madness, and destruction. Coming attractions for the end of sanity.
Savage as fuck.
The Captain Video Show. It's easy to see when someone truly and unabashedly loves what they do, and Captain Video, or Ralph Zavadi, loves what he does. Somehow, Captain Video made a public access show with no budget that just captivates the audience with nothing more than the sheer force of will of this man's charisma. The first episode that we saw involved the intro where this man, this god amongst men, enters a scene by riding a leaf blower, only to turn the camera and talk about how he loves popping bubbles, only to grab some construction equipment and attempt to pop a sun pool tarp.
This is insane.
He later transitions into a scene where he talks about his love for Beerios. This show
What's up, Beerio?
This show is just great. To properly describe the show, you would need to take the sheer insanity of Andrew WK and combine it with the crude stunts and humor of Jackass. Even when in pain, this man is devoted to what he does and maintains his persona, which is something most people, and even actors, can't achieve. The perfect example of this? One winter day, he attempted a trick, which involved him from jumping from a telephone pole into the pool tarp in his backyard. Unfortunately, he hit the poolside and broke his neck, and was only saved by a kid coming home from school who heard the noise. Astoundingly, he decided to air the episode uncut, including the failed stunt, which subsequently got his show canceled. Despite this, he remained upbeat and did not let a broken neck get him down. In fact, after a bit of recovery time, Cabin Video credited Frank Zappa Music for curing his broken neck. There is also talk that he may be coming back to television, and to mark this man's return is a documentary entitled Beauty Day.
That was actually
Electra Elf and Fluffer.
Oh no.
Electric Elf and Fluffer is about a girl who works for a newspaper, internet thing called Ass. She also moonlights as a superhero called Electric Elf, but in order to become Electric Elf, she needs to take a pill that is either LSD or Elf SD. It's really hard to figure out what exactly they are saying. She then proceeds to fight crime with her dog Fluffer, who has radioactive piss for some reason. Their words, not mine.
Holy shit, my leg, I can't move it and it burns. Ah! It's that crime fighting rat. It pissed on me.
That's radioactive pee, buddy.
The effects of the show are actually okay for the time. We won't say that they're Oscar worthy, but there is camera movement, framing, and while the performances are campy, they are at the very least entertaining, unlike most of the insanity on this list. Near the end of episode 1, Electra Elf, the odd exposition-spewing factoid alien of this world, gets captured. When she gets captured, the main villain of the episode, Lucifera, forces her to eat raw mayonnaise by shoving spoonfuls down her mouth, while also having her strapped down to a table where her legs are connected to a pulley, which makes her legs get raised for some reason. After a failed attempt at contacting Professor Nerditz, she finds a nail file and remarks about how else is a superhero supposed to look this good. She manages to free herself using this nail file, despite talking loudly to herself. She only got away with this because the villains were too busy snorting a white powdery drug called
Alright, what the fuck is this? I'm flabbergasted.
Euphoria. As expected, Electric Elf beats the bad guys and makes a pun before finally making it back to her office, where a LSD drug tip happens, and it's episode 2, I guess. I don't know. The show is an oddity. It's hard to explain really anything about the show because the explanation leads down a rabbit hole that has the inevitable answer of everyone involved in this production was on drugs, so accept it.
Electra Elf and Fluffer. Electra Elf and Fluffer. Electra Elf and Fluffer have come to save the day.
Carmen's Banana Cooking.
So I want to know.
The show was made in the 1980s using Austin Access Television in Austin, Texas. The show times for this strange monstrosity of broadcast television history was 10:30 p.m. on Saturdays and midnights on Sundays. We begin this entry with that information because talking about this show was just weird. Not creepy weird, not fascinating weird, but weird in the sense that you take one look at this and see the caked on makeup and what clearly is a man wearing poorly done, fake, oversized, prosthetic latex boobs, and think to yourself, man, can I just not watch this?
Oh, there's nothing like a good old-fashioned love song. I tell you, Carmen must
Watching this would be torture.
be in love. Hey! Welcome to another episode of Carmen's Banana Cooking.
Carmen's Banana Cooking is a show that takes place in its own world that has lore and mythology all centering around bananas for some reason. Despite how bizarre and insane the show seems to be, none of it is interesting, and it's just a slog to watch as there's poor video and audio quality, and plenty of dead air that just makes this painful to sit through. Whatever demented mind thought this up could not write a script that would progress the show forward in any cohesive way. They talk with each other about magical bananas that could see the future, and sometimes Carmen sings.
If I can't conceal the thrill that I'm feeling, don't blame me.
Too bad it's kind of mumbled and really hard to understand. All in all, Carmen's banana cooking is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. But sometimes it's good that these public access shows are buried under layers of years, because honestly, this thing is right at home, buried under the ground where no one has to look at it.
That's not funny, that's sick. The first impression of that's not funny, that's sick is a man with wide eyes that almost look like glass, with yellowed, crooked teeth, set up in a dimly lit setting, saying,
I like little kids. I like to look at little kids. They're so cute. Little kids are so cute. Little kids. Oh, God, little kids.
That's not funny. That's sick.
What the fuck?
A big theme of that's not funny, that's sick is showing disturbing imagery and generally downright screwed up thoughts and ideas. This could be in the form of a home movie like that of Kill, 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 which is about a Vietnam veteran who hears nightmarish hellscapes, only to come home and see his girlfriend left him. He can't get a job, and after much screaming, proceeds to go on and kill people who wronged him.
Cliff Hudson.
Or it could be a on-site produced skit that shows the main host making fun and bullying homeless, only to later trick said homeless to attacking a young child.
What the fuck?
Every single episode is poorly acted, in such low quality, it is just downright mean-spirited. The home movie is weird and unnerving due to the weird layering of audio, as well as unfunny and out-of-place improv comedy. But it's that very set of elements that makes the show. It's just a uncomfortable sequence of images to trudge through.
Are we done? Oh, we're not done.
The Fun with Roadkill Handbook, Volume 1.
This does not sound pleasant.
We have to deliver you a warning here. Disturbing lyrics is one thing, weird grossed out humor is another, but this show is downright messed up. The content beyond this point may feature close-up images of dead cats and other animals being played with and filmed. Obviously, I'm going to censor all of this, but if any of this will disturb you, we suggest turning off the video and just listening or something.
Why was this on TV if, like, you people are sick fucks?
Basically, the commercial starts out with a guy who can't be older than 20 years old saying,
The Fun with Roadkill Handbook, Volume 1. Your comprehensive guide to when four wheels meet four legs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know where this is going. To put it bluntly, for the next 45 seconds, the main narrator makes jokes and puns while doing extreme close-ups on rotting roadkill. He then proceeds to poke and play with the dead animals, all leading up to a scene where he makes the joke, Chapter 13, Target Practice, which is a scene where he intentionally places a dead or knocked out animal in the road trying to get a car to run over it, which it in fact does get ran over and flies into the air. As far as we can tell, these are not puppets. These are actual decaying, rotting, maggot-filled corpses of animals being paraded for our entertainment. This truly is one of the most horrifying examples of public access gone wrong.
Alright. Okay. I've seen it all now. Alright, Dippy? We've seen it all now. Well then. Well then. I have seen things that I wish I wasn't exposed to. And that being said, I'm going to bleach my eyes right now. Bye.